listen, everybody who's anybody right now, if they care anything about HBCU football, even college football in general, are talking about what's going on with this Ed Reed situation at Bethune-Cookman. Coach, I've heard your thoughts on it. I want to take us back for a moment before we even hop into current thoughts. When you first heard that he, got the job offer, right, at Bethune-Cookman, what were your thoughts? Your initial thoughts?
I was really excited about it. I'm a former high school coach, and I'm still a high school coach at heart. So my first thing is always for the kids, and I thought that he was going to be able to provide those kids an incredible experience. He was going to be able to bring some resources in there that I know that they didn't have, and I was really excited to hear that Ed Reed was going to be going to Bethune-Cookman.
Okay. So you thought about the resources. You thought about what happened for those kids. What were you hoping for the kids? You said I've heard you talk about the resources that those kids would be missing out on. What do you think they were going to get?
I mean, they sharing helmets. I mean, that's true. My son.
Yeah.
I get attacked sometimes on social media by people who think that I have an issue with HBCU football, but my son played at Bethune-Cookman, right? My godson plays at Jackson State. He played for Prime. He's still there. I didn't let him leave when Prime left and went to Colorado. My goddaughter plays basketball at North Carolina Central. Aquill Glass is a two-time SWAC Offensive Player of the Year. He was my high school quarterback, And so I think that I've been very invested in sending kids to HBCU programs. I wanted to see them succeed a lot, but they are missing some things. They don't have a locker room. They are sharing helmets. I've been able to see that with my own eyes. Their facilities do have some shortcomings. And so from that standpoint, for me, I thought that Ed Reed was going to be able to close the gap for them in some things and bring Shaquille O'Neal was already on board with bringing some resources in the same way that Michael Strahan helped out Coach Prime at Jackson State. So I was excited for it. Unfortunately, it didn't work out, but that's life.
What do you think? And some people are saying that, it's really obvious, but I want to know, what do you think was the biggest factor, like the most impactful factor in him not getting that contract ratified?
Obviously, what he said on the Instagram Live, that upset some people and that ruffled some feathers. Maybe he could have handled that particular situation better. I understand how people on social media can make you mad enough to respond to them the way he responded. When you feel like people are attacking you on social media. But I ignore most of that myself. So, in that situation, you would hope that he could have ignored it and that they could have gotten in the room and settled some things and settled whatever their differences are. But it didn't get handled like that. And so when you have fights, people typically want you to handle your disagreements in private. People don't like public disagreements. So anytime it becomes public, people's feelings get hurt, people get upset. It creates a media frenzy, especially when you are, as big as he is. And I think that on both sides, I think some egos got in the way a little bit. And the only people that lose are the ball players and the kids.
This seems like the most obvious question in the whole entire world. But I'd be a fool not to ask. Is there any possible, after all that's been said and done, is there any small possible window, any possibility that this can result in him coaching there?
Well, I don't think so. Reggie Theus said that it was no way, right?
Yeah.
In his interview, I think he had an interview yesterday. I would like to see a resolution, but it doesn't seem like right now like they're open to that on that side.
So, Coach Reed, he went on IG Live, right? And he said, "Man, look, I'm still looking for a job. I still want a job. I still want to coach." Do you believe that he can end up coaching somewhere?
Well, right now it's nothing open, so it all comes down to what's available. But there will be openings for sure. So something could pop open here right after signing day. You never know, man. Timing is of the essence. And it wouldn't surprise me for something to happen somewhere that puts Ed Reed on the sideline.
Okay. You think it's passion that rants? You think that helps or hurts those possibilities?
It depends on who's judging them, right? See, we played in the era and came up in an era where you could say whatever you wanted to say, and it was and you were talked to like that. It was very regular. Obviously, the world has changed. People are much more sensitive to what you're saying, and there's cameras everywhere. You know, it was things that coaches said to us, 20 years ago that they would get counseled for today. But, a lot of old school guys feel like it made men out of them. But, they call that what they call it toxic masculinity now. If you say that you enjoyed it, they'll tell you that you got
toxic.
Trauma. Yeah, you toxic and you got trauma. So the world has changed in that regard. I think that Ed can bring a lot of value to kids, though. I think it's kids who need a coach like that. I think that there's a group of young men people don't understand some of the things that these guys are going through in life. And I think that he can bring a lot of value to a group of kids. I really do believe that.
It's not just about the love of the game. It's about dedication and commitment through the process and the patience to endure. There's joy in reaching your goals and peace in knowing you've done all you're supposed to do. Ozell brand. It's not just a brand, it's a lifestyle.